Hello, I'm Norman Clarke with Norman Clarke Painting. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a cabinet door just like this one. The tools we'll need to do this today will be a drop cloth, a screwdriver like this, a small painter's bucket with a paintbrush, and of course our paint. The first thing we're going to do is to take the cabinet door off. I use my screwdriver just like this. The hinges are here, so it's a quick thing just to take these off. By taking the hinges off, it gives us a lot more access to the actual complete part of the door, and it keeps the job very clean and professional looking. Okay, see how quickly and easily that came off? Now we're ready to do the preparation on our door. We'll take it to the drop cloth and we'll start from there. Now that we've got the door off, the next step is to sand the door lightly with our sandpaper. This will give a nice key for the primer, and it will also take any imperfections that are on the surface out. So here we go. We want to sand in the direction of the wood grain. Always do that, very lightly. The door is actually in good shape, so it doesn't need a whole lot of sanding. Be careful to get into the molding by putting your finger like this and pushing it along. You want to make sure that every inch of the door has been sanded, because every inch of the door is going to have paint, so everything needs to stick. Like this, like this. Okay, now I've sanded my door. Next step is to clean the door off with my painter's dusting brush, just to take all the dust and trash off of the face of the door. Okay, now we have a door ready to paint. It's been sanded and it's been cleaned off. We are ready. Our next step is to take our brush, dip it in our paint, and we're going to paint the edge. When you paint a door, you want to do your molding edge first, on the inside and the outside, before we do our actual face. So taking our brush, paint the inside. Most important is to get the molding completely. Don't worry about the face right now, it's not important. More paint. Most important is to get the paint actually onto the door as quickly as possible before it starts to dry out. Okay, and once I've done the molding, I go back over one more time just to straighten out any imperfections, any globs of paint, any areas that don't quite look consistent. Okay, just get the paint on the face of the door. Don't worry so much about the aesthetics of it right now. Just make sure you get it into all the different pores of the wood. Make sure everything's filled up and nicely consistent. Once we're happy that we have paint on every inch of this door, on the inside panel, take our brush straight. We'll just bring it up very gently. What this does is actually puts the brush lines in one direction, evens out the paint, and gives a beautiful overall appearance for a freshly painted door, just like this. Now with the style of this door, we're going to paint the molding first, just like this. We're going to paint it like this. Don't worry about the face. Put a nice amount of paint on our brush. And we can spread the paint out a little bit later. What I'm going to do now, I'm just covering up the edges, and then I'm going to finish off the face of the door and give us our final look. So the edges are done. Now I will do my final coat on the top. Again, don't pay as much attention to how the face is looking right now, because what we want to do is just to get the paint onto the door before it dries. So don't be afraid of putting a little more paint than you usually would, because you want it to cover. So once the door has actually been painted, You take your brush and you'll drag along the horizontal where the joint of the wood is, right there. Drag your brush along all the way to the end. It's okay to go across the wood, and I'll show you why. So you take it back the other way, and that gives you a nice straight line. Do the same down here. Again, feel free to take it all the way across. After you've done that, drag your brush on the verticals. Check for any runs on the edges. And you have a nicely finished door. That's how you do it. I'm Norman Clarke with Norman Clarke Painting. This is a cabinet door, and I've shown you how to do it. Thank you.